Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I am standing on a yoga mat, but if you don't have one, don't worry about it. Find a place in your house that's carpeted. Maybe you've got a rug that can become your yoga mat just for today. I'm barefoot, and if you're more comfortable leaving your shoes on, then leave your shoes on. I have 2 yoga blocks, and if you don't happen to have those, 2 thick books are a great substitute. And a folded blanket, maybe you've got a big beach towel or bath towel or even the throw blanket from your couch. Once you have that, let's get started. Standing at the front edge of our mat, or what you would imagine to be the front edge of your mat if you're being creative with your rug or carpet. Feet are hip distance and parallel. We'll turn our palms out, have a soft bend to our knees. This is mountain pose. It's the bedrock of all poses, and it's where we stop so that we can start. Feel as much evenness as you can in your feet and in your breath. Inhales and exhales, both through your nose if possible. If that's not happening, just breathing with awareness is great. We'll add a little movement. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. And exhale, just float your arms along your sides. Palms face out. Again, just that much. Inhale. V shape, thumbs to the sky. And then exhale, float your arms along your sides. Adding on, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V. Exhale, this time hinge at your hips and simply take your hands onto your thighs. This is a great strategy to create some length in our spine with leverage. So press hands into thighs and lengthen through your spine. You can think of lifting your heart. You might then lift your chin, but let's not. Let's let it be just our heart. And then exhale, hinge at your hips. And as you fold, keep the length that was in your spine a moment ago. If you can keep that length and slide your hands a little down your legs, maybe even to your shins or ankles. We want to keep the length as the priority, not how low your hands get. Now inhale, slide your hands up, maybe back up to your thighs, and feel an uplift of your heart. Remember, not your chin so much as your heart. And then we'll come all the way up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and stand into our mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs or shins or ankles as we fold, but find length. Inhale, uplift your heart and slide your hands up your legs. Exhale, fold in, but keep that length to your spine, and then firm through your belly. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V. Stand into your mountain. Let's add on. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs or shins or ankles, folding with length. Inhale, uplift your heart and slide your hands up. And as you exhale, bend your knees deeply enough that your hands can get flat onto the ground. Once they are, step back to down dog, but let's really build this from the ground up. We're not collapsed, elbows out, and any compression in our shoulders, so push the ground away. Imagine that you have a hook in your tailbone. Feet wide, and on the balls of your feet is going to be where I suggest, and keep a bend in your knees. Let's give ourselves the advantage of prioritizing length in our spine. And all of those adjustments will help you to push the ground away more and create that length. Now firm through your belly and rock forward. Feet are hip distance at the front edge of your mat. Hands to ankles, shins, or thighs as we inhale and lift our heart. Exhale, slide your hands down as you fold in. And then rise and reach firm through your belly, thumbs to the sky, V shape, stand in your mountain. Palms face out. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up. Bend your knees deeply, palms flat, step to downward facing dog. Your feet can be wider than hip distance. Maybe you start to move them towards hip distance. Now shift forward to a plank. Your shoulders are right over your wrists. You can always bring your knees down onto your mat, but I want you to push the ground away here too, so there's nothing concave between your shoulder blades. Find the hook in your tailbone that takes you back to down dog, pushing the ground away, lengthening all four sides of our torso. Walk your feet forward to your hands, hip distance and parallel. Inhale, lift your heart, slide your hands up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. And then inhale, rise and reach. Thumbs to the sky, a V. We'll stand in our mountain. Palms are facing out. We'll keep adding friends to our sun salutation A. Inhale, V-shaped, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your shins, thighs, ankles. Inhale, lift your heart. Sliding your hands up, then palms flat, step to down dog. From your down dog, shift shoulders over wrists, keep pushing the ground away, and bring your knees to your mat in one solid piece all the way down onto our belly. Uncurl your toes, bring your forearms parallel to the two long edges of your mat, and then traction your elbows towards you and press into the tops of your feet so you activate your legs at the same time. Think long, strong back bend, drawing your heart through the gateway of your arms. Lower down and reposition your hands next to your ribs. Curl your toes under with your belly firm. Come through all fours. And then lift your hips up and back. Make it down dog. Prioritize the length in your spine. And then walk feet to hands, hip distance. Inhale, hands slide up. Shins, ankles, thighs, wherever it makes sense. Exhale, slide back down. Inhale, rise, reach. Thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then stand, palms face out. Adding another friend, inhale, V-shape, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to thighs or shins or ankles. Inhale, glide your hands up, bend your knees deeply, palms flat. We step it to down dog, finding the hook in our tailbone. Come to plank, push the ground away a lot. Bring your knees to your mat in one solid piece, all the way down onto our bellies. You can leave your hands here if you want to, uncurl your toes, or do Sphinx like we did together before. Traction, heart through the gateway of your arms. Lower down, curl your toes under through all fours, and then into downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Slide your hands to ankles, shins, or thighs, and uplift your heart, and then fold in, but keep that length. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V, and we'll stand in our mountain with our palms facing out. Chair pose, V-shape your arms, sit your weight back into your heels, and then exhale, slide your hands down your legs as we fold. Slide your hands up and uplift your heart, and then bend your knees and place your palms flat on the ground for down dog. Once you're in down dog, lift your right leg back behind you. Step your right foot forward. It might mean that you need to help it along. And while we're down here, maybe position your two blocks on either side of your right foot. That gives us a place to really create the foundation. You might walk your right foot over to the right a little bit. We're steering our right hip back and our left hip forward. I find as we come upright that if I put a bend in my back knee also, I can find mountain pose in my torso, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, maybe a V shape overhead. Bring your hands to your mat, step it to our down dog, finding the hook in our tailbone. Shift it to plank position with your shoulders over your wrists. Knees down, one piece, all the way to our belly. Uncurl your toes, press into the tops of your feet, activate your legs. You can keep your hands here or make it Sphinx pose as we find our little back bend. Lower down, curl your toes under, come through all fours. A hook in our tailbone takes us to down dog once again. We'll lift our left leg this time back behind us, and then we'll step it forward and help it along in any way it might need it. Positioning our blocks on either side of our left foot so that we can find a little bit of a shift of our left foot to the left. And then bending our right knee, our back knee might be helpful when we come upright in a crescent, arms out to the side or V shape, but thumbs to the sky. Then return your hands to your blocks and eventually to your mat, and step yourself into downward facing dog. Let's really push the ground away and feel that hook in our tailbone. Then walk your feet to your hands. You'll arrive at the front edge with your feet hip distance. Slide your hands up and inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, slide your hands down, but keep the length in your spine as we fold. Let's go back to chair pose here. So sit your weight back into your heels. V-shape your arms, thumbs to the sky. Stand it up. Find your mountain and pause. Again, chair pose, V-shape, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hands slide down your legs, thighs, shins, or ankles. Slide your hands up as you inhale and lift your heart, and then bend your knees, palms flat, step to down dog. From down dog, we lift our right leg behind once again and step it forward, and we give ourselves any assist in finding our way there that we want or need to. Do trot your blocks in. Turn your back foot flat, walk your right foot to the right, and start to straighten your front leg, but remember our priority of a long spine. So it's fine to have a little bit of a bent knee in that right leg, front leg. Think of steering your right hip back towards the back edge of your mat and letting your left hip move forward, so right hip back and left hip forward. You might turn your blocks a little bit lower, but remember it's not about getting your hands low to the ground or close to the ground. It's about refining the length in our spine and letting our breath dance with the shape that we have assumed in meditation, movement meditation, which right now is quite still. I'll be silent. Let's meditate a few moments here. Now we'll bend our front knee and spin on our back toes. Move your blocks off to the side, step to down dog. From down dog, you could choose to stay here or put your knees down and take a break in a child's pose, or shift your shoulders over your wrists. You're in plank, bring your knees to your mat. One piece, we come to the ground. Uncurl your toes, come into cobra, pressing into the tops of your feet, drawing your heart through the gateway of your arms. You can always do sphinx instead. Lower down, come through all fours. Make your way to down dog. Remember, pushing the ground away. Left leg lifts. We'll step it forward and help it along, and position our blocks on either side of our left foot as we heel toe. Left foot to the left a little. Back foot is flat on the ground, and we're thinking left hip back and right hip forward. We're prioritizing length through our spine. Doesn't matter how close your face gets to your leg or your hands get to the ground. And then let's let breath and this stillness, even though there's subtle movement, dance together in meditation. I'll be quiet. And now we bend our front knee and spin on our back toes. Move our blocks out of the way, just off the cusp of our mat, and step to down dog. From down dog, walk your feet forward, hip distance, front edge of our mat. Lift your heart, slide your hands up, inhaling, and then fold in, sliding your hands down. Visit chair pose. Bend your knees, rock your weight back into your heels, V-shape your arms overhead, and then we stand it up. And we pause. Chair pose, inhale, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs or shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, palms flat, down dog. Keep your hips lifting up and back, then lift your right leg up and back. Step your right foot forward, come upright into crescent pose, so you may want that bend in your back knee, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Drop your back heel. This time we open to warrior two. So walk your right foot over towards the left a little bit and extend your arms. Check to make sure there's a vertical line from your right knee to your right ankle. Our bodies are open towards the left side of our mat. We stay for 3 silent moments here. Now carefully be sure that you spin on your left toes, your back toes, as you turn yourself back into crescent pose, and then hands to your mat for down dog. Either stay in down dog or put your knees down and take a break, or join me as we shift to plank with your shoulders over your wrists. Knees down in one piece, we lower to our belly. Uncurl your toes and activate your legs, pressing the tops of your feet, drawing your chest with the gateway of your arms. Lower down, curl your toes under, come through all fours, and then to down dog. From our down dog, lift your left leg this time and step it through. Help it along in any way it needs or wants. Come up into crescent pose. Maybe you bend your back knee. And then thumbs to the sky, we drop our back heel and heel toe. Now our left foot over to the right a little bit, creating a warrior 2 position that we'll stay in just for a moment or two. Be sure that you spin on your back toes simultaneous to turning your body forward, and we're in our crescent pose for a moment here, and then we'll take our hands onto our blocks or onto the ground and make our way into our downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back, pushing the ground away, and walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, slide your hands up, and exhale, hinge, folding in. Chair pose, sit back into your heels, V-shape your arms, and then stand it up and pause, palms face out. One more friend to add to our party, our sun salutation party. Let's start with a chair pose and fold hands, slide down, shins, ankles, wherever you'd like. Glide them up as you inhale and lift your heart. Palms flat for down dog. Once you're in down dog, lift your right leg behind you, step that right foot forward, help it along for crescent. Back foot flat, warrior 2, walk your right foot over to the left a little bit, and then straighten your front leg. It's not a side bend, it's a hinge at our right hip, and we reach way out. Our right hand can find a block on the outside of our right foot. Left arm to the sky, thumb to the sky. Right big toe mound is pressing down, so we don't feel like we're locked into our front leg. It's a little bit more fluid. 2 moments. Now start to bend your front knee and spin on your back toes. Step back to down dog from here. Know that you have the option to stay here in down dog or put your knees down and rest. Or join me, shifting shoulders over wrists into plank. Lower your knees. One piece, we come to our belly. Uncurl your toes, press into the tops of your feet, draw your chest to the gateway of your arms, and then lower down and curl your toes under. We come through all fours, then into down dog. In our down dog, lift your left leg, step it through, help it along, up we go. Crescent pose first. We drop our back heel and heel toe our left foot over to the right for warrior 2, and then straighten your front leg. Hinge at your left hip, so we're not side bending. Reach out, find a block on the outside of your left foot. Right thumb to the sky. Let's design our front leg in such a way that it doesn't feel locked out. And we'll breathe into a new sort of stretch. A few silent meditative moments together here. Now carefully start to bend your front knee and spin on your back toes. Move your block out of the way so we can make our way to down dog. From our down dog, walk forward, feet to hands. Hip distance at the front edge of our mat. We'll inhale, slide our hands up. Exhale, fold back in. Chair pose, sit back into your heels, V-shaped thumbs to the sky, then stand it up and pause. Chair pose is our inhale. Exhale, fold hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, and then bend your knees deeply, palms flat for down dog. A little bit different this time, right leg lifts behind us, and we step it forward and help it along, but this time back knee down. Might be that you used your folded blanket underneath your back knee, your left knee. And then I like to stack my two blocks on top of one another and scoot my right foot forward and a little bit to the right. And then come onto my forearms for a humble warrior stretch. We'll slow things down. I gave you a whole medley of sun salutations and we moved quite a bit. And now we're going to cool things down a little bit. Humble warrior would like to have a long spine too. You can curl your back toes under or be on the top of your back foot. It's up to you. I'm going to give you 45 seconds of silence in this shape, starting now. Come up onto your hands. Arrange your blocks on either side of your left leg. Straighten your left leg, your right leg. So either side of your right leg, straighten your right leg, curl your toes back towards you. This is never about rounding and face to the leg. Walk your blocks out, maybe slide your right heel forward a little bit. Some of you might even go into something that almost looks like a bit of a vertical split. But I do want you to think of finding a place where it's not too far, and finding a place where you can maintain the priority of a long spine. We'll get silent and stretch here too. Now use your blocks so that you can bend your right knee, and we're staying close to the ground now. So right knee next to left knee, just switch it out. So now your left foot will step forward and back knee stays down. You might want to adjust some padding back there. Let's stack our two blocks on top of each other. And you might just stay on your hands. Sometimes that's plenty of stretch. You can take your forearms onto your blocks. Just find a place that's comfortable enough that we can snuggle into stillness and silence together. That is pretty humbling. So this is humble warrior pose. But I would say that the humbling part is not just the stretch in our bodies, but the stretch of time where we're silent. And let's be silent starting now. Now come up onto your hands if you're on your forearms. This is where we straighten our left leg. So we'll transfer one block to the outside of our left leg, keep the other one inside. And you could slide your left heel forward a little bit, your right knee back, but do find a place where You feel a stretch in your left leg, a length to your spine, and you feel it's possible to stay a little bit longer. You haven't gotten so deep into the pose that you have to flee. We'll get quiet and meditate on this stretch now. Now carefully, bend your left knee. Use your hands on your blocks. We'll sweep our left knee next to our right knee, and then move your blocks off to the side and come lying down on your back. Once we're lying down on our backs, we'll take our right ankle on top of our left thigh like a figure four, otherwise known as reclining pigeon. If it feels better, you can put a block underneath your head, a folded blanket. You might find plenty of stretch just like this. Or take your right hand through the space and hold around your left hamstring or hold around your left shin. And then let's pause and meditate on this stretch. Place both of your feet on your mat. Cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Decide if this is plenty. If you want, left hand through the space around your hamstring, maybe even around your right shin. And we get silent and stretch on this side. And now release both feet to your mat. Maybe walk your feet wide and let your knees fall in on each other and finish your practice this way. Tuck one shoulder blade and then the other underneath you, and if it feels good to straighten your legs, you can do that, or just stay as you were. Shavasana, final meditation, our rest and digest. If you'd like to stay here in your final Shavasana meditation a bit longer, feel free to stay exactly as you are. If you're ready, wiggle fingers and toes. Gather up your knees gently into your chest. Roll to either side and use your hands. So you can let your head be the very last thing to come up to any comfortable way to sit. Palms up or down on your lap. A moment of gratitude. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I look forward to us doing it again.